Hey there and welcome. My name is Frank Sardella, and if you were invited to a talk by Dr. Frank Margella, aka Coach Margella, host of the Sporting Good Posture podcast, and chiropractor extraordinaire in Franklin, Tennessee, to hear me speak today. If you were invited by him and you tried to log on, my sincerest apologies. We had some technical difficulties, and the conferencing software we were using was a little bit difficult for some people who aren't used to being involved in online conferencing to log on to. But Dr. Margella right now is trying to work it out to have me on his Facebook Live. So I just wanted to do this quick little short video in lieu of the 12:30 Central Time webinar that we were going to do. And I'll talk to you a little bit about what's going to happen. We are going to give it another go at the 6:30 p.m. Central Time original scheduled time, and we're going to see if we can do it as a Facebook Live video. So stay tuned for that. But again, let me give you a little bit of a overview of what we're going to get into, who I am, and why you should even listen to me, why Dr. Margella very much wants you to hear from me. This is something that I do all the time in front of audiences, usually corporate audiences, a lot in New York City, but I do a lot of online videos and conferences as well as traveling. I've spoken all over the country. And let me just give you a little bit about my background. My name is Frank Sardella, and I'm actually a chiropractic advocate. I'm not a chiropractor, so I'm not a doctor. Don't hold that against me, but that might actually be to your advantage that I'm not a doctor. I am coming to you today because Dr. Margella actually asked me to speak about who I am, what I do, and a little bit about what I teach people. Because what I really do is I raise self-awareness in people, and it's actually a very important component. Now, why is that? The reason is, well, my history has a lot to do with it. My history with chiropractic is as follows. 25 years ago, I didn't think I was going to live to see age 30. And I was on a lot of medications. I was going to a lot of specialists, and I was getting more and more and more medications, more and more visits to more and more specialists, and I was getting less and less answers, and my health was declining at the same time. So you can imagine how things were and why my outlook was that perhaps I wasn't going to make it to my 30th birthday. And I just sort of accidentally backed into a chiropractor's office, meaning that while all this was going on, I had some issues in my back. I had a car accident maybe a half a year in advance of all this, maybe a year. And I guess residual from that, I had some back issues, ended up in a chiropractor's office, and I'll spare you the story for now. I will give you during tonight's lecture with Dr. Margella the info on how you can hear my entire story online. But long story short, that chiropractor not only fixed the problem, but helped me fix everything. But what did that chiropractor give me? It wasn't the treatment that saved my life. Actually, it was the treatment that did save my life. But what really saved my life was it left me with a self-awareness and an education on how the body functions. And I was able to understand how a working body functions. And once I did, I was much more aware of what was going on and much more of an active participant in my own wellness. That's what we're actually going to talk about. Now, how does this relate to the isolation you're in right now? How does this relate to immunity and all these things we've been thinking about and worried about? Well, that's part of the reason why Dr. Margella wanted to have me come and speak to you. That is what I speak about 365 days a year. Last year, I think I did 125 corporate lectures. I'm speaking to thousands of people a year. What I'm normally speaking about, even in not an epidemic, is how a functioning body works, because when you understand that, you'll understand what real immunity is. So are we going to give you a bulletproof vest to put on for this epidemic or any other disease? Absolutely not. And if any doctor anywhere tells you that they're going to, quote, boost your immunity, that is a fallacy. It doesn't mean it's never true, but it also doesn't mean it's true across the boards. So I'm calling it a fallacy because there's a lot of doctors out there of every kind that do say that. But everybody interprets that differently, and many of the people who say it don't realize it's not true in all the cases, and there's a reason for that. But what I'm going to be talking to you about is mounting the best defense possible, because you can have this much defense against disease and illness, and you can have this much defense against it, and you can have much lower than that, and you can have much higher than that. And then there's only so much immune you can be above that. The point I'm making is the reason why that's not true is some people are all the way up here already and they're at the maximum. Doesn't mean they're bulletproof and they're never going to catch a disease or a virus or anything like that. Absolutely not. So if you're looking for that talk, I'm not giving you that talk tonight. And I don't recommend that you listen to that from anybody who says they can deliver that to you. But what I do recommend is you become as self-aware as possible, that you learn how the body functions specifically, and then you can understand how it breaks down, but also how to take care of it in the first place to make sure you're building a maximum defense. That's what we're going to talk about in my lecture. That's what we were going to do this afternoon that we didn't get to do. My apologies once again. Dr. Margella, as we speak, as I'm filming this, is actually working on solving that so we can do it as a Facebook Live video. And once we get all the technical difficulties worked out, that's the talk I'm going to give you. And not only should you come, but you should tell everybody you know. Now, if you're in lockdown or quarantine with a bunch of people, make sure they're all sitting around the screen watching. But, you know, DM all your friends, text message all your friends, call up all your friends, your family. Everybody that you know that you want to get on this call should be on this Facebook Live video to watch, because I'm going to give you just that in about 30 minutes time, and then I'm going to stay on the Facebook Live for an additional 20 to 30 minutes just fielding questions that come up. So that we have that special for you. I'm very happy to be coming to you. Dr. Margella is one of my most staunch supporters. I'd like to thank him for having me and actually desiring to have me talk to you, his patients. Dr. Margella is a big supporter of mine. He's been learning from me forever on the things that I've been doing out there as, you know, a lifetime patient, success story, advocate of the profession. These doctors don't go to school to be advocates. They go to school to actually learn the technology of chiropractic and become very good at it. And I've been treated by Dr. Margella specifically, and he's actually amazing at it. But there's 90% of what he does that has nothing to do with treatment that you need to know what it is. And I'm going to tell you that secret as well tonight. So do tune in for that. And again, thank you to Dr. Margella for having me. He is a staunch supporter of me. I host my own podcast, but I also have created and produced Dr. Margella's podcast, Sporting Good Posture. It's on all the platforms: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Podchaser, just about every platform there is imaginable. You can look that up and you can find it. You can also find it at sportinggoodposture.com. I actually keep all his episodes posted there, and do tune into that. I'm producing his show through every episode, making sure that he's getting the message out to you with all the help he can possibly give you. He supports me in return. I have a podcast on the same platforms called The Wellness Broadcast. And you can also follow me on Instagram at The Wellness Broadcast. You can DM me there with questions and whatever in the meantime. Dr. Margella has been to New York City. He's seen me speak live. During last fall, he came and to New York City, and he was actually at one of my talks with me. It was great. And we've been doing a lot more work ever since that together. But as of this taping, he and I have been working together for about 8 years now and counting. So we've got a lot of special stuff for you. I'm happy you'll be attending, and I'm happy I'll have your attention for those 30 minutes because I got a lot of really good stuff. A lot of light bulbs go off when I talk to these corporate audiences, and things people just never realized before. It's going to be an elevation in self-awareness, and I promise you that. You're going to walk away with something you can take away and use immediately. Not something you write down enthusiastically saying, oh yes, I'm going to do that, and then find those notes a year later, but something you can tangibly and immediately not help but doing. You won't be able to unknow what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. So do tune in. Watch the Facebook page to see any live markings of Ideal Health and Wellness is live. And I'll be coming live to you tonight. I will see you then.